So welcome again. We are going to continue the Excel lesson. So today we are going to talk about some functions, basic functions used in Excel. Functions consist of sets of formulas that are going to perform either addition, calculating average, calculating max, mean for your information. So as you can see on my screen, I have some students' records which I'm sure you can be able to come up with. So after coming up with such information, just remember to merge the first two rows like that so that you can incorporate the titles. So let me put some borders around these cells. So click on all borders just as we did the other time. So as I've said, I want us to look at some basic functions. So here at the bottom we want to calculate total marks of the students. We want to calculate average, so I'm just typing. I want to calculate max. Max is the average, the highest marks in that subject. Then we have the mean, we have the standard deviation, how far apart the figures are apart, the standard deviation. Then another basic function that we are looking at is count function. We have the date function, we have the time function. So these are some of the functions that I'll start with. Also on this other side, I want us to calculate the total. I want us to also to get the average of the student, and we shall also grade this student. Now we can merge these cells up to here so that for uniformity, merge to there, select the cells and merge. So I'm going to put borders also on this side in all the information, all borders. So I have my details appearing like that. Now there are several ways one can calculate all these functions. You can do it manually, which is very simple. What you will do, you will click in the cell that you want to get the answer. So for example, I want to get the total marks in English. I'll click in that cell. That cell is B12. Remember how to identify cells. We talked about identifying cells. Now the cell that I've now selected is M4. So you start by looking at the column and the row. So I'll click in the cell that I want to get the answer. I'll start with the word equal sum. Remember I'm adding several cells, so I'll use the sum function. So is equals to sum, open bracket. I'll look at the first cell in that English column. The first cell for Isaac, the first cell is B4. So I'll type B4, use a full colon, and the last cell, Felix, the last student, the figures is in B11. So I'll just type there B11, and I now close bracket like that. Then I press enter. You will find that the totals have been shown. So I'll go to the next marks. This is Kiswahili. I'll just start with equal sum into bracket. The first cell is C4. You type C4, use a full colon, then the last cell is C11. So when you then you close bracket. So you use a full colon. The full colon at the middle here shows the range of cells. I'm ranging from cell C4, the first cell, and it's up to cell C11. Remember in the one we talked about identifying cells. So it's equals to sum into bracket C4 to C11. When you press enter, you will have completed that calculation. Now you can do all the way, get all the sums, but you can still just get the first one. Then you autofill. You position the cursor at the bottom right. Then when you drag, all the sums will be generated automatically. So as I drag like that, you find that the figures or the sums are being created. So what I can do, I can just get the first one. This is average. So average, again, I'll start with the equal sign. Don't forget the equal sign. Average, open bracket, I'll identify the first cell, which is B4. Again, B4, full colon, I'll use the full colon there, to B11. Then I close my bracket like that. When I press enter, you will find that the average mark. Now you can do that for each and every, but you can still use this and autofill your answer into the adjacent cells. Now you'll find that you have the rest of the answers. So I'll just calculate. This is max is equals to max. You just use that word, max, B4 full colon B11. Equal to mean, so minimum, mean, into bracket B4 to B11. The standard deviation equals to, just short form, standard deviation, B4 to B11. The last student, who is Felix, the marks are in B11, so that the last, so you close your bracket, equals to count. So count will count how many students participated in the exam. So same, B4 to B11. Equals to date. Just type equals to date. When you open bracket, it will indicate here what you're supposed to type inside. You can type the year 2020, comma, as you can see it is indicating use a comma, the month 06, comma, again the date 13. You use numbers, so you close, press enter, that is the date function. Same applies to time, equals to time, open bracket, then it will indicate you what when you open just the bracket, it will show you, type the hour, comma, the minute, and the second. Then you close the bracket, you press it. So that is how you use this function. So remember, you can autofill, just quickly, you can autofill so that it automatically calculates in the other columns. Remember, my cells are like this because of the width, so you can drag the column so that all the information is displayed, so out of it like that. So we are going to calculate also the total equals to sum into bracket. Now the first cell here, we are calculating Isaac's marks, so this cell is called B4. You look at the column on the row, this is B4 full column. The last cell in this calculation is this F4. Just type F4 like that, then you close bracket, just as you've been doing the rest. You can now drag up to the last where Felix is. So the average still equals to average into bracket B4 full colon F4. You close this bracket, you press enter, and you will be able to get your answers as quickly as that. That's the first method. You can do it manually. So I'll just erase this so that we can use the other method. So if you understand this, you can still use it for calculation. The other method is also simple. You just use the function wizard. Click where you want to get the answer. Use the function. Just click the function wizard, insert function. You just, if it is sum, this is total sum function, then you click on OK. You look at the cells B4 to B11, you click on OK. Those are the cells they are added like that. If it is average, click in the cell you want to get the average of mark of the student. You click on the function wizard, click on average, click on OK. Now you have to drag. You can drag to make a proper selection, or you can just confirm here this is B12, not it shall supposed to be B11. So I'll just drag, make the drag up to here, and then I press enter. So the marks, so use the function wizard. The function wizard, you can just click here, look for marks. This is marks. You click on OK. So marks, then you drag those cells that you want. You select those cells that you want to calculate marks. You click on OK. That is marks. So the function wizard also, you can also use it. You can click on formulas. This is the function wizard. Click on that arrow to expand to this. Now we are calculating minimum. This is another way. You click min, then you just drag to select those cells that you want to include. So click here, more functions. If the standard deviation is not there, click more functions. The standard deviation, click on OK. So you drag, make sure the selected cells are okay. This is not the correct one. It should be B4 to B11. Remember that. So drag this properly up to here. So when you click OK, the date function, remember I've talked about date, so you can look for it here. So if it is not here, the date function is not displayed here, you can search, just clear what is there, just type date function so that it will show you the date function. Select it. When you click OK, you again type the year, the month, date. When you click OK, the date will be displayed there. So when you get this, remember you can autofill. Just to finish quickly, you can autofill so that you get your answers as quickly as that. So total, function wizard, sum, so sum function, it will highlight itself, it will get itself. Just press enter for that. Average, now you have to be very keen, is equals to average. Now don't include the total. This total should not be there. You just drag, select those cells that you want to include, you press enter, then you so this was count. Let's cut from there, paste it in this cell. This should be count, so count numbers. Let's drag to make the correct selection, press enter. Time function, just type so you are through with these calculations. So So I want you to understand that you can use different methods when you calculate. You can use a function wizard, you can use formulas, you can just type the formula manually. So long as you know how to identify the cells, you will be good to go. Now, on the same breath, I'll want you to be able to calculate the grade using the function wizard. You just go to formulas. Now, assuming the pass mark is okay, let me start by remarks, which will be easier. Remarks: if the student gets 70 and above, those students who have 70 and above pass, the remark should be passed. But if it is below 70, fail. So you are going to use formulas. We are going to look for another function called the if function. So you are going to more functions. If, click on if function, click on OK. Then it will open this dialog box where you are going to enter the logic of test. So here we are going to type, we are looking at the average. So remember, it is the average mark that we are looking at. This is H4. So H4. So we're going to type H4 greater than, we use greater than, the sign on the keyboard, greater than 70. If it is greater than 70, if it is true, they passed. So you put the remarks there. If it is false, as you can see here, false, fail. That is the mark. When you click on OK, so let me undo and start, just repeat again. So click where you want the remark. First of all, you start by clicking the correct cell, cell I4, that's where you want the remark to be. Then we go to auto sum, click on more functions, look for the if function. So this if, the definition, when you select a function, here you can see the definitions at the bottom of the window there. So the if function, it checks whether a condition is met. So you are going to use the if function to check whether this student got 70. If he got 70, he passed. If he didn't, he failed. So you are going to click on OK, and you are typing it again. So the if H4 is greater than 70, if it is true, passed, the remark will be passed. If it is false, failed. Then when you click now OK, you'll find that the first one, Isaac, who scored 68, that is below 70. Now the remark. Now we can drag this formula to the rest of the cells. You'll find now that the comments are inserted into those cells. That is how you use the if function. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. We'll meet next time for continuation. Thank you.